Hey guys, it's Mitch. How's it going? We're back for one more video for Blood Force issue 4. This is the final two-page splash, probably pages 24 and 25 of Blood Force issue 4. So just before we get into it, if you enjoy the channel, if you feel like you might want to help out a little bit, go subscribe to my Patreon. Links are in the description. All right, so yeah, this is the final shot for Popo where it all kind of comes together. We've been building up to this for like 3 issues with just like slowly like giving him a bit, well, like he's had his own little subplot going on since issue 2, and this is kind of the payoff right here. Everything after this is going to be kind of just unnecessary. That's okay. uh Unnecessary is like it's on the masthead. So yeah, this is going to be a big two-page splash of Popo just shooting apart Clerg. And yeah, this took place over the course of, I want to say, 5 live streams. Total drawing time was about 15, 16 hours, something like that, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if I've spent that long on any single drawing before. Probably the two-page splash earlier in this issue was similar. But yeah, so we're going to get a whole bunch of rendering, a whole bunch of just... I try to do a few different effects on this particular splash. Um, yeah, I'm trying to remember all the details on this costume. I think a lot of them just kind of got left by the wayside, particularly the swords in this instance. He had like 4 swords strapped to him. 4 swords strapped to him at the end of Blood Force issue 3, which have not made a reappearance, unfortunately. But yeah, this is we're still getting all the gun belts, all the pouches and everything. The pouches in particular are important because we're going to find out in the next issue that he's stolen a clonifier. What do we call it in this? Replicapacitor, I think. And so that's going to eventually play into later storylines with Blood Force if we ever get there. That's pretty far down the line, but so far he just grabbed a whole bunch of shit. I think they said like 5 communicators and like, a whole bunch of Allen keys or something like that. And yeah, so we're just going to start out with the stuff we know best. So that's just going to be all the torso stuff, and then we'll kind of slowly work out to all of the extras. I'm already at a point here where I didn't realize that his legs were getting pretty skinny in comparison to his torso. It's one of those things about not realizing when reconfiguring the torso itself. If you saw at the beginning there, it got kind of rejiggered a couple of times, but the legs I think probably stayed the same. So his legs, yeah, they end up being a little bit spindly compared to his massive torso. Anyway, they're pretty large on their own, but I think it's okay. The final piece itself is pretty impressive, and I don't think any one bit really takes too much away from the total. Like there isn't enough negatives in this to kind of draw back at all. Trying to get the gigantic banana clips in from the end of issue 3. The guns I think were pretty faithful, like reasonably so. I wasn't going to completely copy them, considering every gun I do is improvised to some extent anyway. And yeah, the one thing I thought about afterwards that I kind of wish I'd added on was because the whole thing here is going to be he's got these 2 gigantic guns that are shooting everywhere. I kind of wish I'd gotten the muzzle flares as light sources. Didn't think that far ahead, and really, Popo himself isn't super dramatically lit compared to usual. The whole deal with Popo generally is that he's dramatically lit no matter where no matter what the environment looks like. And we got the field of fallen Clerg that he's standing among here, which probably could have been more messed up, but I've kind of gotten a groove, and just when I get in a groove like that, I just keep drawing. I tend to draw the stuff I know. I don't know if that's keeping it in mind the whole time can be kind of difficult. So trying to get a few different things so it's not just here's a leg, here's an arm, and there's curves that are heavily shadowed. With sorry, Injured my neck last night somehow. Slept on it bad. So yeah, I've been kind of if I move my shoulders at all in the wrong way, it's been fucking me up all day. Um yeah, trying to break it up a little bit with like fins and stuff. Just some weird curves in the background. I'm not even entirely sure what those are. They look like giant rib cages or something. And here we go. We're going to try and start, well, first with this Clerg hand coming in and just do it as some really streaky brushwork and mask it off. Doesn't look too bad. And now we're going to start on the muzzle flares itself, which is going to be a lot of layers actually. So first that black, then some dots of white out and white media. Now we're going to kind of mask off the rest here so that we can spritz. It's going to take, yeah, a lot of masking. And finally got the hang of spritzing properly. And just threw some extra blobbies around all over the place just for some extra effect. So that's a good outer layer, but now we need to go back in, white out a bit more. Or we will afterwards, maybe after it dries. All right, so let's work on that other one. These guns have to be gigantic, right? To keep referencing back to that other page. Because, like I said, I want them to be somewhat faithful. I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, partially it's just that those guns look pretty good. So might as well keep that going. Always trying to keep in mind the Sin City pant folds that I largely pulled off on the Popo variant cover. Because I'm trying to keep going with that. It's a little difficult when I'm not using a reference. I'm just kind of making it up. But I don't know. Like some of it looks okay. I'm okay with it. All right, now let's get to work on all this tech junk. Just filling up the space on this takes forever. Particularly with how large the drawing of the gun is. And the original gun drawing wasn't. It was still kind of large, but you could kind of fake a whole bunch of stuff in there. This it's like it's taking up a gigantic amount of real estate for a gun that I don't know how to draw. And yeah, try to black in a Clerg being shot to pieces here, which doesn't look, I don't know, it looks a bit funky. And I'm going to try and fix it up a little bit later. We're blacking it all in? Yeah, there we go. Just so I don't try and overdraw it too much. There's no point doing too much of the gun and then blacking out over it. And then, yeah, the muzzle flare. That's all good stuff. We're going to do any spritzing here? I don't think so. Then we're going to work on that gun some more. A banana clip ended up looking a little wobbly. That doesn't look too bad here, but it kind of gets there. Wonder what I did to it now then. All right, more bodies. Just endless bodies. Oh, I guess not. Sorry. I don't know where I'm going with this, apparently. Yeah, all the little details and everything. I don't know how much of this is necessary. It always seems like, if you can see white space, oh, that's it. As soon as I put in those curves, it ended up looking, like it's twisting in there. Oh, well. Yeah, but it feels like as soon as you can see white space, you're just, okay, well, I need to fill that up with something. It's like, well, no, actually, you can be judicious about it and just try and even it out. And big thing is kind of learning when it's okay to leave some space. And I feel like I haven't gotten there yet. If anything, I've gone the other way. Where it's like, we'll just put in more texture or something. Now, here comes all the whiteout for some sparks. And whiting out the edges. Yeah, along the, like the carbon. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, here's those bodies coming. And yeah, I wanted to put something in the background here with some more Clergs showing up as reinforcements. So those are penciled off in the back there. And now Hatchet to Oblivion. Well done. Having difficulty maintaining the size, keeping consistent with the size of the shells. have a tendency to draw the small shell, like a small hole, and then gigantic casings or muzzle flares or something. Oh, and here we go with the casings. I probably spent a good hour drawing casings this day. And, each one has to be at least a little bit shaded. And tried to put a few in perspective, get them just flying all over the place. Tried to really plat it up. I probably should have looked at plat drawings of casings just to be sure of what I'm doing. Yeah, so that's all of them outlined anyway. And now we get to shade them all. And just kind of backlight them all to one degree or another. Yeah, just one by one. I did leave one unshaded, because as is tradition. I believe the joke on the live stream was, if you find the unshaded one, you get some sort of prize. I don't know what the prize was. I don't remember now. So that's all those ones. But now we need to do a few more. Behind him to the bottom left, underneath him, a few more to the bottom right. But we're not going to worry about that just yet, because we're doing more with the muzzle flare. More whiteout. I think I was just about done, actually. Need a bit more spritz to taper that off. Yeah, pretty good. Got to draw the what's left of the coat while I remember, because by God, I will not long term. And remember to finally put the chain on the badge there. There's some more shells flying around behind him. Man, this thing ended up being so full. All right, what are we working on now? More of that gun or more shells or more of the gun? Okay. So I think I was going to say I think the bottom barrel is pretty much done, but no, I guess not. Now to work on the, yeah, and this is just random shapes. Look, now I'm trying to look at plat stuff for cues. And like, kind of getting something here and there. I think that's not looking too bad. And now more shells, of course, just endless, which is appropriate, I think. Yeah, a few more, but I think I was thinking to try and space them out a little bit here. A little bit. And yeah, whatever these curves are, it does really feel like giant ribs. Yeah, not bad for just trying to get some detail for battlefield chaos. Let's mask it off again, and we'll spritz again, like we did last summer. Yeah, really getting the hang of that toothbrush thing. You just, you dip the toothbrush in the ink, and you spritz the end. I don't know why it took me this long to figure it out, but it only 4 issues, apparently. And so, yeah, these guys, they're looking a little, I don't know, they're not super dynamic or anything, but I don't even know how many people even see them. So maybe it'll be almost like an Easter egg. And yeah, more texture for those bullet holes, every time. Just all over the place. Yeah, they end up looking okay. But again, I always get worried about just how much detail is in here, particularly in the hallways. I feel like I'm never putting enough detail in the hallway. So trying to put all sorts of just, excess lines and textures all over the door frame here. That'll help. Yeah, bunch around along the ceiling. And more shells. Good idea. Always a good idea. Okay, that was where I tapered it off. Yeah, because you can't just have like this massive volume of shells going off in every direction. It's got to be kind of directed a little bit. And now is when it's like, okay, now what do we do for background? It's like I originally had an idea of doing it like, they were in a warehouse of some kind or something. But it's like, okay, the details, like the angles didn't really work. And detail might have just distracted anyway. So it's just like, okay, let's just do some speed lines. Speed lines are always a good idea. But we're not going to do speed lines over the entire thing. That would be silly. So we'll put some more speed lines coming out of Popo that would conflict theoretically with the speed lines going underneath him, but we're not thinking too much about that. Just kind of like what looks right for each part of the drawing. not just the whole drawing of on some. More speed lines following that original direction. And I guess more along the end here, eh? Yeah. Speed lines forever. But trying to taper them out a little bit. Okay, so yes, some more spritz. I think the spritz around the bullet holes on the Clerg here didn't all 100% work. It's not too bad. The overall effect, I think, was, yeah, pretty great. So that is the completed final splash. Yeah, so it's one of the more ambitious things. Maybe not as ambitious as I originally envisioned it. You know, that could have gone a few ways. I thought of it kind of as like a Death Dealer thing at one point, where like he had like a mountain of Clerg underneath him, which was one way to go. But I think that would have worked better as a single page splash. If I'd had a bunch of narration to fill in the blank space, that would have been fine. But I didn't want to do like 2/3 of like the right side of the page theoretically as background. So this seemed like a fun solution anyway. And of course, I'm now working on redoing page 22 as 22-23 as another 2-page spread, which I think works better with the amount of narration and just the pacing, like the build-up. It was a bit too short of a build-up to get to this. You need to let it breathe a little bit before you smack him in the face with this. But yeah, overall, pretty happy with that. I don't think I have any complaints. So let's see if we can one-up this in issue 5. I'm not even sure if I can. Although I wouldn't have thought I could have got to this when I started this issue, so who knows. But anyway, that is going to do it for this one. We still got a couple of more videos for issue 4 coming up because there's a whole bunch of variant covers that I decided to do while I try to figure out what the fuck to do next. But so we'll work on those for the next couple of weeks. But for this one anyway, that's going to do it. Thanks very much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification so you know when the next one's coming out. Go over and subscribe to my Patreon. It gives you early access to everything I do, from the Blood Force stuff to the YouTube videos before they get uploaded to YouTube, as well as some Patreon exclusive content. You can also follow me on Instagram and DM me there for commissions, and you can join the Blood Force Discord server. But yeah, that's going to do it. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.